What's up, YouTube? My freaking mic on. I'm notorious for not turning it on. Hold on, guys. There we go. There we go. Get that thing in there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm notorious for not turning that bad boy on, man. Sorry about that. Hey, thank you to everybody. As always, that's liked, shared, commented, and subscribed. I don't even know what to say. And, me and my son were talking about it, and I'm not building like a fan base. You get what I'm saying? I'm building a network of, and this is so organic. It's not even me building it. It's just people that are so like-minded. They're being attracted to me, which in return I'm attracted to them, and other people are attracted to them, and it's just this big old pyramid, a pyramid scheme of just this network of like-minded individuals, and I'm thankful for it. I am, because I mean some of these guys in here, Maneater of Tasavo, J-Rob, like you guys, like, man, I'd have never met you guys if I didn't do this. I'd have never been able to sit down and talk to you guys, and we share the same freaking mind. There's plenty of you. There's plenty of you guys out there. Greg, you're out there somewhere, man. There's plenty of you guys out there. Tiffany, I mean, there's too many to name, honestly. And I would have never met you guys if I didn't jump on this channel and start doing this. So, I mean, I'm thankful for it. I'm here for it, and I appreciate each and every one of you. To all the new subscribers, hey, listen, we just get on here and we talk about whatever. All right, so this is we keep it clean, but this is an adult channel. We're going to cover religion, racism, politics, parental alienation, marriage and divorce, child support, business, because all these things ultimately go together for you to succeed financially. Each and every one of these things, you have to watch every market, whether it be childbirth, marriage and divorce, relationships, freaking the stock market, doesn't matter. All these can run you financially. And that's kind of what I wanted to jump in today and talk to you guys about positioning. And not so much, it's always financial positioning, but we're just going to go with an all-purpose positioning and why it's important, because anything can happen in your life. Anything can pop up. And the last thing you want to do is be that person in that situation. I've been there before. That person in that situation that doesn't have an emergency fund. And I do not mean a $1,000 Dave Ramsey emergency fund. I tell everybody you need a $10,000 emergency fund. $10,000 will last you about 3 months as long as your expenses are not extreme. And if you're just your average, below the line, just person in the United States, probably in the UK as well, 10 grand could cover you for about 3 months. That's roughly $3,000 a month. Now, if your expenses are extreme, then you need to do what you need to do for yourself, because I realize if you live in LA and your rent is, $3,000 a month, then you're going to probably need, $15,000. So you have food and water and whatever else you need, pay your utilities or so. So you got to kind of, do your own conversions there for that. But roughly a $10,000 emergency fund is ideal for anyone. 10,000. I'll tell you guys a quick story about me in positioning. And this is something that I harp on, and I want my sons to understand, is that there was a period when my dog was dying. And I told my boss at that time, this was years ago, and I told my boss at the time, I said, man, I'm going to need a few days off. My dog's dying. He said, oh, we can't do that. You guys know how bosses are. We can't do that. We ain't going to be able to do that. And I was like, well, I quit. And he was, oh, wait. I quit. Because when I take a job, when I take any position, you have no control over me. I'm not disrespectful and I'm a good employee, but I don't have to tolerate anything because I'm in a financial position, because I put in the work in my younger years to where, and I don't want to say younger, we're not even going to say younger. Hell, I put in the work about 5 years ago, and I took a period of sacrifice for 2 years, did nothing but pay off debt and stack cash. I did it for 4 years, but there was a major period of sacrifice to where I beans and rice, ramen noodles, rode a bicycle. I lived well below my means. I paid off debt and I stacked cash. And so that's where all this thought process comes from. When I tell people, don't worry about getting to $1 million, just save your first 10,000. Your first $10,000 will teach you everything you need to know, not necessarily about money, but about your environment. Your first $10,000, if you're on a low income, let's just say that you're on an 18, which average people, we're around here, $18, $20 an hour. You're still trying to pay lights, water, gas, and rent, maybe child support, you got to, whatever you got to do, you got kids, this and that. So when you go down that road of trying to stack cash, save your first $10,000, that right there is going to let you know who your real friends are. You're going to quit going to the bars, you're going to quit drinking, you're going to quit smoking, you're going to quit bullshitting. You're going to learn so much about those around you, you won't want to hang out with them no more. You're not going to want to be around them no more. Right there off of $10,000 alone, you will level up so hard during your first $10,000. If you guys don't believe me, try it. For those that do or already have saved up their first $10,000 or beyond, comment below and tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Once you start doing what you're supposed to do for yourself financially, and you can no longer meet your buddies at the bar on a Saturday night and drink, or you can no longer go over little Jimmy's house and smoke weed and play PlayStation all day because you got to handle business. You can no longer freaking, buy all the beers or whatever, or, bullets and ammo if you want to go shoot with your buddies, whatever you do. And you can no longer do that because you're on a purpose. You're on this path to pay off your debt and to save your first $10,000. You're going to lose friends. And then you're going to realize, like, man, these guys were no good for me. Maneater said it the best. Maneater of Tasavo said it the best. I'm pretty sure that was you. I can't find that comment, but I'm pretty sure it was you that said, when you're at the bottom, most people aren't worth knowing. When you're at the bottom, most people aren't worth knowing. I mean, hey, man, you can't make that shit up. When you're at the bottom, most people aren't worth knowing. I liked it. It might sound harsh, but that shit is real. When you're at the bottom, most people aren't worth knowing. And it's the truth. It really is. That's some harsh reality right there, and it's true. And I love that little quote that he threw out there the other day. You did it a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday in one of the comments, and I couldn't find it again. But when you're at the bottom, most people aren't worth knowing. And it's true, man, because you're going to find out in your first $10,000 who your friends are. They're going to stick around. They're still going to come and hang out with you when you quit drinking, when you quit smoking, when you leave the weed alone. Watch out. If you've ever gotten sober, you should already know this. Watch how fast people leave you alone because you're a reflection of their downfalls. So when you're stacking cash, paying off debt, bettering your life, you're a complete mirror image of them. You're a reflection of their downfalls. And they're not going to want to be around you because you're exposing them. You're exposing their weaknesses and how weak they are. This shit is not for weak people. It is hard to stack money. It is hard to pay off debt. It is hard to push yourself ahead to a better job, a better career, a better lifestyle. It's not for the weak. And I think that's why my channel is doing good. Goodness, I ain't got no water with me. I think that's why my channel is doing good organically like it is. Because I'm not out here chasing YouTube fame. I'm just wanting to just network with like-minded people and just build a community of folks. And it's happening. It's just happening naturally. So if you're new, welcome. This is the type of shit that we talk about on here. We just talk about money, business, but positioning yourself. It's going to take a period of sacrifice. There's no way for you to get to the next level without leaving the old you behind. There is no way for you to become Dr. Timmy or Dr. Sarah without you leaving little pothead Timmy back there. It's impossible. You cannot get to where you're going by holding on to what you used to be. It's impossible. You got to say goodbye to it. If you make $35,000 a year right now, and you want to see what 70 looks like, then you're going to have to say goodbye to that $35,000 a year attitude. That $35,000 a year attitude says that, I only need to do 35 hours a week. If the boss says you want to go home early, I run out the door. You're going to have to lose that attitude because the person that's going to make 70 stays. The person that's going to make 70 is pulling 50 and 60-hour weeks, and they're staying there. Okay? They're not running out the door because the boss said you can go home early. They're staying there. So you're going to have to adjust that attitude to get to the next level. If you can't do that, you're not going to make it to the next level. The universe will reward you, but you have to be prepared to do the work. You can look at it, God, infinite of all intelligence, I am, the universe, all higher being, higher power, Allah, whatever you want to look at it. Whatever higher source you pray to, it will reward you. But you have to put in the work for it. You have to become that person. That's why I tell people to start acting like a millionaire before you are one. What do millionaires do? They don't just sit on the beach and play games. They're constantly educating, self-educating. They're being productive with their time. If you don't know Microsoft Excel, don't you think when you become a millionaire that it might behoove you to learn that? So why not learn it now? If you don't understand real estate, you don't have to be an agent, but if you don't understand the concepts of real estate law, how to buy and sell, don't you think that you should be learning that now? Don't you think millionaires understand real estate? Because ultimately, if you get $1 million, you're either going to go spend it all and be broke again, or you're going to grow that $1 million into 10 million, then 100 million, and then as far as you can, right? You guys know I'm not wrong. So ultimately, if you want to be a millionaire, don't you think you should start understanding money in the financial institution? Why are you sitting back waiting to get $1 million before you start to study these things? Why don't you study them now while you're broke? And then it might say, hey, shit, I've done so much work here studying the financial institution. I've been taking all these classes in FINRA. I just passed my Series 7, Series 6, or whatever series exams you might want to do. I'm actually legally certified to be a financial advisor. I'm actually legally certified to where I can go be a loan officer. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what millionaires do anyway. If you had $1 million, aren't you going to study the process of loans and business and finance so you can grow your money? So why aren't you doing that now to get you prepared in advance? And that's going to push you that much further along. It's like Napoleon Hill said, he who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. That was Napoleon Hill. He who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. All these little gems I got up here, man. He who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. Most people at the bottom ain't worth knowing. I like that. That was a good one. I'm stealing that, man. That was a good one. You guys hit me with some gems, man, and I appreciate it. I really do. But those are little tricks. And that's positioning for you in your life. You know, I've already been down this road. So the things I'm telling you to do, put the cigar down. The things I'm telling you to do, I'm not making these up. I'm not speculating them. And then there are guys in these comments that are ahead of me. There are guys pulling in $250,000 a year. There are millionaires already in the comments. I mean, they're not just reaching out to you guys probably and saying this because they probably take it as rude or arrogant or bragging, but these people are already here. They're already listening to what I'm saying and they're reading what you're replying with. And I want you to really understand that when you reply, we know who's going to make it and who's not just off your freaking responses to certain things. We can tell. I'm so serious. Whenever I said yesterday that I just did 15 hours, and not knocking anybody, but some of the comments that I got off of it, you know, or however, and it's just, you could tell, like, if you're not ready to pull a 15, 16-hour day, you know, it's going to be a little rough for you to at least even see 6 figures. If you just want to see 6 figures, you're guaranteed. If you're a 6-figure earner, leave it in the comments below how many hours you work. Guaranteed these guys are pulling 60-hour weeks. I mean, easy. So that's either 12-hour days or they're freaking just constantly 8-hour days all week long, however you want to look at it. But I guarantee you they're doing at least 60-hour weeks just for 6 figures. What do you think millionaires are doing? It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And depending on the type of millionaire, how you make your money, you get some downtime, but realistically, it doesn't stop. You got to maintain constantly. Constantly, you got to maintain. So back to positioning on, you know, your level or just a little bit lower level, you're going to have to cut the fat out of your life and get away from the bullshit people, the bullshit drinking, the bullshit drugs, whatever you do. I hope you don't do drugs. And normally when I mention drugs, I'm talking about weed. But if you are on hard drugs, that shit's got to go. There's no way you're going to, first off, you're not going to make it to the top under the influence of anything. But you're really not going to make it to the top under the influence of anything that is hard. You know what I mean by hard. We don't need to go into that conversation. But, you know, normally when I mention drugs, I'm talking about weed, marijuana. That's normally what I'm talking about. I know it's legal in a lot of states now, but it gets you nowhere. It hinders you completely. Alcohol is horrible for you. I rarely drink, man. I drink more water than anything. And you might, I don't ever portray to be sober. You might catch me drink something around New Year's or something like that. But alcohol is horrible. It's horrible on your body, on your skin. It just, I don't need to go into all that. If you're trying to get to the top, you need to stay sober. You need to remain, stay away from anything that can hinder you from moving forward or making major mistakes. And alcohol and drugs definitely is a no-go. So you got to cut the fat out of your life. You got to get rid of that shit. You're going to have to quit going to the gas station and buying your $10 lunch every day, or stopping to McDonald's or wherever you go. And that stuff's trash anyway, man. Another thing that a lot of people I always see skip, and you don't have to have the freaking body of a Greek god, but physical fitness is important. What's the point of getting wealthy and you're not healthy and you die young? Physical fitness is important. Everybody I know that has money, I'm not sitting there saying all of them, and they don't all look like freaking Greek gods, but they definitely maintain some form of physical fitness because they all understand it's just about health. It's not about bodybuilding. It's about health. And I can't be any more clear than that, man. So you're going to have to cut the fat out of your life. You're going to have to pay down the debts, pay off the debts. But I've also told people before that the first thing you need to do is get to the first 10,000. Your credit score is already trash. It's already trash. There's nothing you could do. If you want to play that, go watch my freaking video about paying off $65,000 in debt. Don't do it. Don't pay that stuff off right now. Just get to the money first. I really don't want to have to go all the way back over that, but just get to the money first. And I was asked about what I thought about a janitorial business, and I think it's a great business if you're willing to work it. It's probably going to take you 6 months to gain a decent client, not clientele, client. And I would be chasing big clients. I would be chasing shopping centers, malls, hospitals, nursing homes. I would be chasing something like that. That's what you want to land, are those. But if you're talking just on a small scale of residential, then that's still good too. It'll probably take you a little bit. Just do the best you can. It's going to take you 24 months to get that rolling. Unless you got real gumption, then I think you could have it done in a year, 9 months to a year, to really have your business up and thriving. But that's you doing nothing all day long but that freaking janitorial business. If you still got to work a full-time job and you're trying to do this on the weekend and grow it, it's going to take you probably 2 years to grow that. So you need to be mindful of that. All businesses, most of them fail within the first 2 to 5 years anyway. I think everybody should know that. If you don't, you knew now. Most businesses fail within the first 2 to 5 years anyway. I am fast to pull the trigger. I am really fast to start a business, and I'm really fast to stop one. Because as soon as I see that, and this is not me quitting, this is me being smart and weighing the numbers, weighing my options. When I start something, I've had a graphic design business, a t-shirt company. I've owned an events and entertainment company. I've always been involved with the entertainment in some form. Graphic design, t-shirt, events and entertainment, and those right there. And I've had some lawn care services. My first lawn care business that I had was in Georgia. I did that down in Columbus, Georgia. It was good. I was in the Army then, so it was more of a side hustle. I didn't take it as a business at that time. You guys know I hate side hustles. I didn't take it as a business that time, but it did thrive. I was probably pulling in back then when money was really money. I was cutting about 5 yards a weekend. I only worked on Friday night to maybe Sunday morning, depending, but I was doing about 5 yards a weekend at roughly $40 to $50 a yard. So we're going to say $200 a weekend I was making doing that, and that was every weekend consistently. So I mean, I was making roughly an extra $1,000 a month, just me alone doing that, and being a full-time soldier in the Army. Actually, I was an E5 at that time, sergeant at the time, and then I carried that on and did that in at Fort Campbell. And then I carried that on and did that in Paducah, Kentucky for a little while. And it worked. But I've had some landscape and lawn care businesses before. And I enjoy those because I like cutting grass. So cutting grass is something that I could do just to get away and clear my head. I like to cut grass. That's work that I don't mind. So yeah, janitorial business is a great business. But you need to be mindful that 2 years for it to take off. And now that we've jumped into businesses real fast, I know, man, we can run and talk to about everything. But now that we've jumped into businesses real fast, to the younger guys out there, because I had a guy in the comments, I don't remember exactly what the comment said, but he was like, how do you stay? Because I mentioned that I was at my job for 7 years, and he was like, how do you stay somewhere that long? Here's the deal, man. You find it. Here's the deal, and this is what I look for. I find a job that's going to pay me. I've talked about the basic survival rate. I've told you that basic survival rate is the bare minimum it costs for you to survive on planet Earth. It costs me with child support, rent, lights, water, gas, just bare necessities, $40,000 a year. It cost me like 36 and some change, but I just rounded it to $40,000 a year for me to survive on planet Earth. That's food, lights, water, gas, rent. That's not car payments. That's food, lights, water, gas, rent, child support. That's it, basically. And I might have thrown in the internet or something in there. But anyways, $40,000 a year for me to survive on planet Earth. So I look for jobs that can pay me more than that. If they're not going to pay me more than that, it's almost pointless for me to do it. So basically, for me, $40,000 a year, I'm looking for jobs 65 or better, 65,000 or better, that, you know, and or with a lot of overtime, but usually $65,000 or better. And I'm looking for something that I can physically do for a long period of time. So I know that you were probably pretty young with the comment. You know, you're probably in your early 20s. So here's the deal. You want to find a job because if you're in a position, you want to find a job. If you're in a not so good position, you want to find a job that is going to allow you longevity, that you can continuously work, show up and collect a paycheck and build your life around that. That way, you know, like, hey, every 2 weeks I get, you know, $1,500 or $1,200 from this job. I don't know what your income is, but every 2 weeks I get, you know, let's just say $1,500 from this job every 2 weeks. I get $3,000 a month from this job. I build my life around that. I'm going to work this job for the next 5 years. I'm going to pay down debt. I'm going to stack as much cash as I can. And then I'm going to start looking to take that cash and apply it into something else. I'm going to apply that cash into real estate. I'm going to start my own business. If you know you're 21 years old, what's 26 look like? You guys know I'm big on mountaintop thinking. I've had people jump in the comments and say, man, Robert, what's 30 years look like for you? Break it down into little plateaus. Break it down into little levels. Instead of, I give you guys the idea of thinking 30 years out because that's ultimately what you want. So if ultimately what you want is to have a 10-acre farm and a house with a white picket fence when you're 65 years old, then you need to start doing the proper preparations now to get to that level. What does that person look like? A person with 10-acre farm and a house with a picket white fence at 65 is probably debt free, hopefully. So you want to pay off all your negative debt now, right? While you're young, probably take you 2-3 years to do that. So there's a level within itself. Getting debt free is a whole level amongst itself. Now we got to save up for a down payment. Probably going to take you another 2 or 3 years to do that. So that's within a level of itself. And the whole time we're not just sitting on our ass only working to pay off debt and save money for 5 or 6 years straight. This is where I talk to you guys about becoming a millionaire before you are one. All these things implement within themselves. This is where you're going to say, okay, yeah, I'm paying off my debt, but I'm also studying real estate. I'm also studying the banking system and finance. Maybe I can get a career change. Maybe I want to move into sales and up my income. Okay, man, my debt's paid off. Now I'm stacking cash. I understand all this, Microsoft Excel, the PowerPoint, all the Google applications, everything Microsoft. I understand all these things. I feel like I'm better for a better position. Okay, my debt's paid off. I'm going to try and get this job over here paying $75,000 a year because I know I could do it. Now my income's raised because I've done so much personal development and self-help. Now my income has shot up to, I'm making $30,000, $40,000 more now because of everything Robert Edson told me to do, and I did it. Now I'm geared towards, hey, I'm really on track to having that house with the white picket fence and the 10 acres, and I'm already debt free. The only debt I'm about to accumulate is the house and the land. Boom, I buy the house. I'm only 40. I got my house. Let me go back to paying off the home and the land, or whatever that looks like for you. So when I tell you to project yourself 30 years out, it's not the fact that you can't do it or you can't see it. I'm telling you to do that and then come back here and start setting levels to building it. Fuck everybody else, man. Fuck the people around you, because that's your biggest problem right there. The people around you, well, your friends and family will hold you back from accomplishing any of your goals and dreams. They will always tell you that you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. Man, that ain't for you. You don't want to own a farm. Or man, that ain't for you. You don't want to be an actor. Or man, you don't really sing that good. Or I don't know if anybody really buy your book. I don't have no friends, man. I don't want to hear that shit. If you're not pushing me forward, get out of here. Get away from me. This world's too expensive and life's too short. Get the hell away from me. And that's the way you need to think, and that's the mindset you need to have, because literally your friends and family will hold you back from achieving your goals. Your hopes and dreams, like I tell you guys all the time, your hopes and dreams are a big ball of fire inside your chest. And every time you go telling people what your hopes and dreams are, that big ball of fire, that flame gets a little bit smaller. That light gets a little bit dimmer. And then you start walking around with this old dark soul of, I'll never be good enough. I'll never be enough. I'll never be able to write that book, or I'm not a good actor, or I don't sing well. You don't make me harp on that anymore. It's like beating a dead horse. Stay away from those people. You're the fucking best. And I mean that. You hands down are, and you have to start carrying and conducting yourself like that. And if those people can't see it and respect it, then those aren't your people. My people are right here on the other side of this freaking screen, man. I've already figured that out, because when I was out in public speaking to people the way that I'm speaking to you guys, they would look at me like I was an idiot. I'm sitting there telling them I know I'm going to be a millionaire, and they'd look at me like I was bragging and just being an asshole. But I tell you guys that, and you're like, you can do it. And you guys are like, I know you're going to be one. Like, we know each other. We know we're going to do this. We don't know how. We just know it's going to happen. And that's cool. That's cool. And for you older guys out there, die on the fucking road, man. Don't give up on anything. It is a blessing to be late in life. I hope to get there. Think of all the people that didn't. If you're in your late 50s, 60s, think of all the people that didn't make it to where you're at. Now, and when I say that, don't get morbid and depressed. Now start thinking of everybody that was a founder. A founder. Look at Ray Kroc. I don't know Ray Kroc's time span, but I think he was in his late 50s. Ray Kroc had like 20 good years of the CEO of McDonald's. Look at Colonel Sanders. What was he, late 60s, early 70s? Colonel Sanders still had like 20 years as well. Look at Walt Disney. So maybe you're a founder. If you're older and you feel like, oh, I'm too old, I can't do this and do that, maybe you need to be a founder. Maybe you're the one that paves the way for your family. Maybe you're the one that sits down and writes that book. Maybe you're the one that sits down and you start that convenience store, that grocery store, or maybe you take your money and you start your freaking apartment complex, or you start a fast food chain, or whatever it is. Maybe you're the founder. So don't sit back and say, I'm too old, I can't do that, I don't have enough life, especially if you're in your 60s, man. What if you're 67 years old saying you don't got enough life, and you wake up 97, sound mind and body, still moving and doing what you need to do, and the whole time you're like, shit, I didn't know I was going to, that's 30 more years. You know as well as I do, 30 years of life, 30, 60, 90, those 30s, they go by quick, but they're really long. You can do a lot in 30 freaking years. I'm making sure my next 30 are good. I hope to get to 67 and 70. So I'm sitting there telling you guys, do not get hard on yourself and say that you don't have time. You got all the time in the freaking world. You might wake up 94 and just be getting it, man, with a lot of lead in your pencil. So don't be hard on yourself. And to revert back, boy, we covered a lot. I hope you guys stay with me the whole video. But to revert back, man, I didn't bring any water with me. I always need something to drink. To get your financial positioning right, man, start saving your first $10,000. That will free you up so much. Just by me having a fat stack of cash, I got more than 10 grand, but just by me having a good amount of money, you can't control me. And now that doesn't mean that I run around like an asshole disrespecting people, telling my boss I ain't gonna do this and that and just being rude. I'm not like that. I'm still going to work. I still want my money. But it just means that, you know what, if I go to you and say, hey, man, my dog's dying, I'm going to need a few days off of work to deal with this. I can't leave him at home alone. I got to be with him. Well, we can't do that. Well, I quit. And I don't have to blink twice. I don't have to feel bad about it. I don't have to stress over it. I quit. Plain and simple. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to know that I have control over my life. Yes, I still have to work. I'm far from where I want to be, but I am in a position to where you can't control me. So that's something that I find very important. I sleep very well at night, and I think that you guys might really benefit from doing that. Taking a period of sacrifice and just stacking up about 10 grand, 3 months worth of emergencies. And I think that 3 months worth of emergency funds, and I think that that will help you guys out a whole lot. Man, I can keep this bad boy going. I love talking to you guys. You guys got any questions, any comments, anything you want to talk about, leave it in the comments below. I do have some videos coming up that, you know, or some questions coming up. I haven't really harped on them yet. One of them was how to beat the child support system. I've been trying to stay away from like relationship stuff and things. You know, I wanted to get back to the money. But one of them was how to beat the child support system, or just how to navigate it so you can grow, because it is a system that hinders you and keeps you down and in poverty. So there was that. I got a couple more mindset questions. Hopefully you tap into my mindset the way I think right now. Somebody had asked me to break down caveman thinking, going caveman. You know, it asked me to break that down. I'll probably cover that at some point. But if there's anything you guys want to touch into, and I was asked to touch on the decline in birth rate. And I will jump on that too at some point. So whatever you guys would like the next video to be about, leave it in the comments below. How to beat the child support system, declining birth rate, mindset, or shit, I forgot the other one. You guys tell me whenever you watch the video. But whatever you guys want to talk about, man, leave it in the comments below. Let me know. If you got any value out of anything I said, hit that freaking like button. As always, it's great to talk to you guys. I enjoy it. I really do. This has become, it's honestly become part of my daily routine. And if I can't do this, or something happened to where I'd feel bad. I like coming here and talking to you guys, man. I really do. So again, feel free to reach out to me on any platform. All my pages are public. So feel free to reach out to me anywhere. Boom, 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 boom. I think I covered it all, man. I'll holler at you guys later. You guys have a good night, all right? Bye-bye.